All right. It's day 110. I'm excited. I don't know. It's been a long afternoon, but the sun's shining. It was very productive. Excuse me. And now I'm here. I think I'll be hanging in for a while today. So I got plenty of stuff to work on. And I want to get like I don't know. I want to be able to go into the weekend mentally. What's the word I'm looking for? I want to feel some freedom and some flexibility, I guess you could say. So I'm just trying to figure out why my mic doesn't sound as loud as I'm used to. Maybe Teams is jacking my stuff up. Hold on. Okay. Let's see. So first, I need to close all these freaking windows. That's first. I have so many windows open. I don't know why my standard. I'm not used to my mic being this quiet. It wasn't just quiet. All right. Well, I guess it's fine. Oh, I didn't change my title. I wish I wasn't out of caffeine. All right, I'm gonna do my backdrop build application because I've been needing to do that for a minute. Let's see. Here it is. Hold on. A few sentences on what you are wanting to build or work on. Okay. Okay. These are my links. Team. What am I interested in building? Oops. Okay. Excuse me. Let me do something before I do that. New view, who this? Look, y'all can see my face again. I still got both. I got both. I'm fancy. Look, I'm real fancy. Hold on. I got you. Let me not put my email address out there. My email account. I can share this. See that? This is like top tier right here. Top tier. I actually want to get this view back because every time I'm trying to talk to the camera, I'm like talking to myself. But happy Friday, Queen Panda. I hope things are going well for you. Ooh, clap your hands. Okay. Wait, why do this? Okay, this music is giving. It's definitely giving 5th grade, 6th grade promotional ceremony, end of the school year. Where we did, that was when the Casper, what was it called? Casper Slide Part 2. Whatever that song was called. I think it was called the Casper Slide. And that's literally, I promise you, I was in 5th grade and it was we had already had our promotion ceremony, everything. We in class just listening to the cha-cha slide. That's what it was. I'm from Detroit, so yeah, the cha-cha slide. I'm from Detroit, so y'all know hustles. That's all we do. And I don't want to hear nothing about Chicago. Oh man. Look, I had a CD. I had a single CD that was, when we used to burn CDs, and it was all all hustle songs. DJ Casper was from Chicago. I literally said, "Don't say nothing about Chicago." See, y'all need this. Y'all need the slide. Y'all need the hustles that got the words to it. That's all I'm saying. Let me stop. Detroit and Chicago is best friends. Like we like siblings, we got that healthy rivalry, but for real, like I'm gonna show up to your house, you gonna show up to my house. Y'all got pizza. Y'all don't got the Detroit deep dish, but y'all got your own deep dish. Queen Panda, I hope you're not from Chicago too. Back in the day when I first came on Twitch, it was like a lot of Chicago people. Maybe it was just because I was in Dre's chat. Don't nobody want what? Detroit, Philly born? Okay. No, Detroit, excuse you. Detroit, Detroit deep dish is just something special. pan pizza. Ooh, the way that edge get crispy with cheese. I want some Jets. That's what I want right now. Nah, the Chicago deep dish soup. It's it's special. That I don't. You okay? Here's what y'all do got. Y'all got the popcorn. What's the popcorn place? What's the popcorn place? Jets is fire. Yes. Like, but some people don't like it. Garrett's. That's my We do got some Garrett's. Like we have like a couple, maybe like I know at least one Garrett's location that's here. But that popcorn is my favorite. Some caramel corn. You gotta get it fresh. You gotta get it fresh and just bring it home. One day I'm gonna go back to Chicago. I gotta get my tattoo finished. Y'all seen my wings. I can't show. Yeah, I don't think I got an extra shirt under my hoodie. But I got wings all the way down to this part of my arm. And I started them in 2020, like at the beginning of the year. In January, I got my first session. And then in February, I got my second session. And then I literally have had incomplete wings since 2020. So, assuming the tattoo artist is even still in Chicago. I never heard a person from Chicago say something bad about the deep dish. Never in my life. But yeah, I was looking. I'm working on my backdrop build application. And I was trying to decide what project do I want to work on. What happened to our music? I just got played. That's crazy. I'm about to refresh it. But yeah, I was working on my backdrop build application. I know I'm gonna do something AI focused. I just didn't decide which project I wanted to do. I'm a super hater. All right, Queen Panda, you ready to work? See, I've been working all day, but I want to finish up a couple more items so that way for the weekend I can feel like I can relax. One thing, I've been to Chicago for like I've been a million times, but like specifically once I went for like it was like restaurant week or something like that. Best thing I ever did. It was so like we ate at all these different restaurants all around the city. It was nice. It was fun. I don't know why. I love this little I feel like I love this little AI music. I'm a robot, y'all. Y'all didn't even know. I'm an android. Thank you for the lurk. We need to and we need to play Detroit Become Human. That's a throwback. That's like my very first thing I streamed. Restaurant week and the Taste of Chicago. I don't think I've been to the Taste of Chicago. I think it was restaurant week. Cause I like to eat. Y'all know I like food. So. Okay, so this is what I'm doing right now. I'm doing this application. So I'm just deciding. On my project. They reached out to me because they found my Love API project. but that's not actually an that's not actually an AI project. I think it popped up. I think they kind of just saw like they saw Chat GPT in the description. They're like, "Oh, that's so cool." Um, but it more so was that Chat GPT gave the like recommendations and stuff. But this isn't really an AI project. But I have all types of project ideas. So backdrop is like 4 weeks, I think. I want to do. I want to train. I want to train like a tutor, like an AI tutor. That's what I really want to make. Oh, you a romantic? Chat GPT came up with this. I was just trying to find stuff to that was Valentine's themed. ChatGPT is the one that's romantic. No, I did think this was like fun, like a fun little project to work on, but I wouldn't necessarily dedicate like backdrop is kind of like, hey, if you have like a company or idea that you want to launch, like say it could be a library, a framework, it could be an actual like tech product, and and then you compete for potential like grants and little bit of funding that they have. So I would want to spend my time on something that like something that's a little bit more long term. I've been wanting to do something LLM focused. Oh, let me show y'all because this is really what I'm kind of circling around. So LinkedIn, actually, it's in Discord. Let's hope I don't. I didn't come up with it. Chat GPT did literally. Wait, did I put it in here? I think I put the link. Oh dang, I didn't read me. Oh. Oh, you know what? I think it was like a command or something I had. It had the conversation, the link to the conversation. Wait, what am I trying to do? What's new? Nothing. Why'd I come here again? Oh, I remember. Wait, I didn't share it? What is wrong with me? Huh. Dang. Oh, you know what? I did post it on LinkedIn though. Let's go to my LinkedIn. Cosmopedia, that's what it is. So, Cosmopedia is a synthetic data set. I like this data set because it is very in line with the like textbooks are all you need research that I'm so obsessed with. They basically generated like textbook level a textbook quality data set, and I want to use this for some training. What I'm trying to do is it maybe falls into agent land. I would like instead of training like a personal instead of training an individual as a teaching assistant, right? Like me personally training an individual as a teaching assistant, I want to train an agent. That's a project I really want to work on. I want to work on a teaching model. Not just anybody's teaching model though. So this is sweet because let's see, I think her name's Lubna. This is a MLE from Hugging Face, and a, I think it was a group of them actually. They used, oh, excuse me. They they basically generated this huge data set, and then they made it publicly available. So I wouldn't have to necessarily start from the ground up with that. So I want to do something like that. I want to do something in the LLM or agent space. Y'all know tech ed is my thing for real. I wish I didn't. I still got something here. I need some caffeine. So yeah, and did y'all know this? I was online for like probably not even 5 minutes yesterday. I was so tired. I got home at like after 8 o'clock. Actually, I got home close to 9, and 9 is my bedtime. Ooh, okay. Look, I got some stuff. Y'all. Hold on. Where my YouTube? I got some stuff to watch. Let's go to my watch later. Y'all don't need to know about email marketing probably, but I got some good stuff on here. I want to see what Andrew Ng is talking about. Agents, AI agents is like definitely something to be familiar with. Ooh, I want to watch this one. A Glimpse into 2030 with Gen AI. I think I'm gonna put this one on. I'm so tempted to watch this Sam Altman one. But realistically, yes, a lot of this stuff is more high level, like AI and quantum computing, transformations in AI. So this is all about like foundation models. Then A Glimpse into 2030 with Gen AI. Let's put this one first, because can I? Yeah. It's only like 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes. Then, what else? Oh, IBM. Yeah. Let's watch this one from IBM about foundation models. Add to queue. Then I will put robotics, the robotics one after that. If I make it this long, we'll see. I probably will, but I mean, I am tired, so we'll see. I already maxed out on my caffeine for today. This is a really see. Okay, let's put this one. I'm gonna add this to the queue, but I'm gonna put this up front a little bit because I watched this one already. The one from Y Combinator, how to build generative AI models like OpenAI Sora. I watched that already, but I was like half watching it, and this I like. Here, I'm gonna put it here. I want to rewatch this one because this one is more practical, right? They were talking about a bunch of the startups who are able to build some really crazy models without the budget and scale that OpenAI can produce. So I thought it was some interesting, like, helpful learnings and takeaways from that. So yeah, I think I want to do something LLM based for my projects. All right, so let me go check on Justice, and then I'm about to start this. All right, think about my baby. He got a whole, his like whole entire room is covered in little play mats and all kind of comfy stuff. And he decides to lay down on the hardwood. I don't know, but I can't judge him because I used to sleep in weird spots too. All right, if I do this, is it gonna do what I think it is? Nope. Nope. I'm just doing stuff. Y'all don't mind me. All right, here we go. I'm scared. Hold on. Change this.
All of you know Andrew Ng as a famous computer science professor at Stanford. Was really early on in the development of neural networks with GPUs. Of course, a creator of Coursera and popular courses like deeplearning.ai. Also the founder and creator and early lead of Google Brain. But one thing I've always wanted to ask you before I hand it over, Andrew, while you're on stage, is a question I think would be relevant to the whole audience. 10 years ago, on problem set number 2 of CS229, you gave me a B. And I was wondering, I looked it over, I was wondering what you saw that I did incorrectly. So anyway, Andrew.
Thank you, Hansine. I'm looking forward to sharing with all of you what I'm seeing with AI agents, which I think is an exciting trend that I think everyone building in AI should pay attention to. And then also excited about all the other what's next presentations. So AI agents. Today, the way most of us use large language models is like this, with a non-agentic workflow where you type a prompt and generates an answer. And that's a bit like if you ask a person to write an essay on a topic, and I say, please sit down with your keyboard and just type the essay from start to finish without ever using backspace. And despite how hard this is, LLMs do it remarkably well. In contrast, with an agentic workflow, this is what it may look like. Have an AI, have an LLM, say, write an essay outline. Do you need to do any web research? If so, let's do that. Then write a first draft, and then read your own first draft and think about what parts need revision. And then revise your draft, and you go on and on. And so this workflow is much more iterative, where you may have the LLM do some thinking, and then revise this article, and then do some more thinking and iterate this through a number of times. And what not many people appreciate is this delivers remarkably better results. I've actually been really surprised myself working with these agent workflows, how well they work. I'm going to do one case study. My team analyzed some data using a coding benchmark called the Human Eval benchmark, released by OpenAI a few years ago. But this says coding problems like, given the non-empty list of integers, return the sum of all the odd elements or uneven positions. And it turns out the answer is a code snippet like that. So today, a lot of us will use zero-shot prompting, meaning we tell the AI, write the code and have it run on the first pass. Like, who codes like that? No human codes like that. We just type out the code and run it. Maybe you do. I can't do that. So it turns out that if you use GPT 3.5, zero-shot prompting, it gets it 48% right. GPT-4, way better, 67% right. But if you take an agentic workflow and wrap it around GPT 3.5, say, it actually does better than even GPT-4. And if you were to wrap this type of workflow around GPT-4, it also does very well. And you notice that GPT 3.5 with an agentic workflow actually outperforms GPT-4. And I think this has, and this means that this has significant consequences for I think how we all approach building applications. So agents is a term that's been tossed around a lot. There's a lot of consultant reports talk about agents, the future of AI, blah, blah, blah. I want to be a bit concrete and share with you the broad design patterns I'm seeing in agents. It's a very messy, chaotic space. Tons of research, tons of open source. There's a lot going on, but I try to categorize a bit more concretely what's going on in agents. Reflection is a tool that I think many of us should just use. It just works. Tool use, I think it's more widely appreciated, but it actually works pretty well. I think of these as pretty robust technologies. When I use them, I can almost always get them to work well. Planning and multi-agent collaboration, I think it is more emerging. When I use them, sometimes my mind is blown for how well they work. But at least at this moment in time, I don't feel like I can always get them to work reliably. So let me walk through these 4 design patterns in a few slides. And if some of you go back and yourself will ask your engineers to use these, I think you get a prototype to use quite quickly. So reflection, here's an example. Let's say I ask a system, please write code for me for a given task. Then we have a coder agent, just an LLM that you prompt to write code to say, def do task, write a function like that. An example of self-reflection would be if you then prompt the LLM with something like this. Here's code intended for a task, and just give it back the exact same code that it just generated. And then say, check the code carefully for correctness, sound efficiency, good construction code. Just write a prompt like that. It turns out the same LLM that you prompted to write the code may be able to spot problems like this, bug in line 5, and fix it by blah, blah, blah. And if you now take its own feedback and give it to it and re-prompt it, it may come up with a version 2 of the code that could well work better than the first version. Not guaranteed, but it works, often enough for this to be worth trying for a lot of applications. To foreshadow tool use, if you let it run unit tests, if it fails a unit test, then why do you fail the unit test? Have that conversation and maybe to figure out, fail the unit test, so you should try changing something and come up with V3. By the way, for those of you that want to learn more about these technologies, I'm very excited about them. For each of the 4 sections, I have a little recommended reading section at the bottom that hopefully gives more references. And again, just to foreshadow multi-agent systems, I've described as a single coder agent that you prompt to have it have this conversation with itself. One natural evolution of this idea is instead of a single coder agent, you can have 2 agents, where one is a coder agent and the second is a critic agent. And these could be the same base LM model, but that you prompt in different ways. Where you say, one, you're expert coder, write code. The other one say you're expert code reviewer, so review this code. And this type of workflow is actually pretty easy to implement. I think it's such a very general purpose technology. For a lot of workflows, this would give you a significant boost in the performance of LMs. The second design pattern is tool use. Many of you will already have seen LLM-based systems using tools. On the left is a screenshot from Copilot. On the right is something that I kind of extracted from GPT-4. But LLMs today, systems, I've described as a single coder agent that you prompt to have it have this conversation with itself. One natural evolution of this idea is instead of a single coder agent, you can have 2 agents, where one is a coder agent and the second is a critic agent. And these could be the same base LM model, but that you prompt in different ways. Where you say, one, you're expert coder, write code. The other one say you're expert code reviewer, so review this code. And this type of workflow is actually pretty easy to implement. I think it's such a very general purpose technology. For a lot of workflows, this would give you a significant boost in the performance of LMs. The second design pattern is tool use. Many of you will already have seen LLM-based systems using tools. On the left is a screenshot from Copilot. On the right is something that I kind of extracted from GPT-4. But LLMs today, if you ask it what's the best coffee maker, web search for some problems, LLMs will generate code and run code. And it turns out that there are a lot of different tools that many different people are using for analysis, for gathering information, for taking actions, for personal productivity. It turns out a lot of the early work and tool use turned out to be in the computer vision community, because before large language models, LLMs, they couldn't do anything with images. So the only option was that the LLM generate a function call that could manipulate an image, like generate an image or do object detection or whatever. So if you actually look, literally it'll work better than it. Test. And why did you fail the unit test? Have that conversation.
Of neural network.
And with a non-agentic exciting trend.
On problem set number 2 of CS229, you gave me a B. And I was wondering, I looked it over, I was wondering what you saw that I did incorrectly. So anyway, Andrew.
Thank you, Hansin. Looking forward to sharing with all of you what I'm seeing with AI agents, which I think is an exciting trend that I think everyone building in AI should pay attention to. And then also excited about all the other what's next presentations. So AI agents, today the way most of us use large language models is like this, with a non-agentic workflow where you type a prompt and generates an answer. And that's a bit like if you ask a person to write an essay on a topic, and I say, please sit down at the keyboard and just type the essay from start to finish without ever using backspace. And despite how hard this is, LLMs do it remarkably well. In contrast, with an agentic workflow, this is what it may look like. Have an AI, have an LLM, say, write an essay outline. Do you need to do any web research? If so, let's do that. Then write a first draft, and then read your own first draft and think about what parts need revision. And then revise your draft, and you go on and on. And so this workflow is much more iterative, where you may have the LLM do some thinking, and then revise this article, and then do some more thinking, and iterate this through a number of times. And what not many people appreciate is this delivers remarkably better results. I've actually been really surprised myself working these agent workflows, how well they work. I'm going to do one case study. My team analyzed some data using a coding benchmark called the Human Eval benchmark, released by OpenAI a few years ago. But this says coding problems like, given a non-empty list of integers, return the sum of all the odd elements or uneven positions. And it turns out the answer is a code snippet like that. So today, a lot of us will use zero-shot prompting, meaning we tell the AI, write the code and have it run on the first pass. Like, who codes like that? No human codes like that. You just type out the code and run it. Maybe you do. I can't do that. So it turns out that if you use GPT 3.5, zero-shot prompting, it gets it 48% right. GPT-4, way better, 67% right. But if you take an agentic workflow and wrap it around GPT 3.5, say, it actually does better than even GPT-4. And if you were to wrap this type of workflow around GPT-4, it also does very well. And you notice that GPT 3.5 with an agentic workflow actually outperforms GPT-4. And I think this has, and this means that this has significant consequences for I think how we all approach building applications. So agents is a term that's been tossed around a lot. There's a lot of consultant reports talk about agents, the future of AI, blah, blah, blah. I want to be a bit concrete and share with you the broad design patterns I'm seeing in agents. It's a very messy, chaotic space. Tons of research, tons of open source. There's a lot going on, but I try to categorize a bit more concretely what's going on in agents. Reflection is a tool that I think many of us should just use. It just works. To use, I think it's more widely appreciated, but it actually works pretty well. I think of these as pretty robust technologies. When I use them, I can almost always get them to work well. Planning and multi-agent collaboration, I think of it as more emerging. When I use them, sometimes my mind is blown for how well they work. But at least at this moment in time, I don't feel like I can always get them to work reliably. So let me walk through these 4 design patterns in a few slides. And if some of you go back and yourself will ask your engineers to use these, I think you get a productivity boost quite quickly. So reflection, here's an example. Let's say I ask a system, please write code for me for a given task. Then we have a coder agent, just an LLM that you prompt to write code to say, def do task, write a function like that. An example of self-reflection would be if you then prompt the LLM with something like this. Here's code intended for a task, and just give it back the exact same code that it just generated. And then say, check the code carefully for correctness, sound efficiency, good construction criticism. Just write a prompt like that. It turns out the same LLM that you prompted to write the code may be able to spot problems like this bug in line 5, and fix it by blah, blah, blah. And if you now take its own feedback and give it to it and reprompt it, it may come up with a version 2 of the code that could well work better than the first version. Not guaranteed, but it works, often enough for this to be worth trying for a lot of applications. To foreshadow to use, if you let it run unit tests, if it fails a unit test, then why did you fail the unit test? Have that conversation, maybe to figure out, fail the unit test, so you should try changing something and come up with V3. By the way, for those of you that want to learn more about these technologies, I'm very excited about them. For each of the 4 sections, I have a little recommended reading section in the bottom that hopefully gives more references. And again, just to foreshadow multi-agent systems, I've described as a single coder agent that you prompt to have it have this conversation with itself. One natural evolution of this idea is instead of a single coder agent, you can have 2 agents, where one is a coder agent and the second is a critic agent. And these could be the same base LM model, but that you prompt in different ways. Where you say, one, you're expert coder, write code. The other one say you're expert code reviewer, so review this code. And this type of workflow is actually pretty easy to implement. I think it's actually a very general purpose technology for a lot of workflows. This would give you a significant boost in the performance of LMs. The second design pattern is to use. Many of you will already have seen LLM-based systems using tools. On the left is a screenshot from Copilot. On the right is something that I kind of extracted from GPT-4. But LLMs today, if you ask it what's the best coffee maker, can do a web search for some problems. LLMs will generate code and run code. And it turns out that there are a lot of different tools that many different people are using for analysis, for gathering information, for taking actions, for personal productivity. It turns out a lot of the early work in tool use turned out to be in the computer vision community, because before large language models, LLMs, they couldn't do anything with images. So the only option was to have the LLM generate a function call that could manipulate an image, like generate an image or do object detection or whatever. So if you actually look at literature, it's been interesting how much of the work in tool use seems like it originated from vision, because LLMs were blind to images before, GPT-4V and Lava and so on. So that's tool use, and it expands what an LLM can do. And then planning, for those of you that have not yet played a lot with, because LLMs were blind to images before, GPT-4 turned out to be in the computer vision community, because before large language models, LLMs, they couldn't do anything with images. So the only option was to have the LLM generate a function call that could manipulate an image, like generate an image or do object detection or whatever. So if you actually look at literature, it's been interesting how much of the work in tool use seems like it originated from vision, because LLMs were blind to images before, GPT-4V and Lava and so on. So that's tool use, and it expands what an LLM can do. And then planning, for those of you that have not yet played a lot with planning algorithms, I feel like a lot of people talk about the ChatGPT moment where you're, wow, never seen anything like this. I think if you've not used planning algorithms, many people will have a kind of a AI agent. Wow, I couldn't imagine an AI agent doing this. So I've run live demos where something failed and the AI agent rerouted around the failure. So I've actually had quite a few of those moments where, wow, can't believe my AI system just did that autonomously. But one example that I adapted from a Hugging GPT paper, you say, please generate an image where a girl is reading a book, and it poses the same as a boy in the image, example.jpg, and please describe the new image with your voice. So give an example like this. Today with AI agents, you can kind of decide, first thing I need to do is determine the pose of the boy, then find the right model, maybe on Hugging Face, to extract the pose. Then next, need to find a post-image model to synthesize a picture of a girl as following the instructions. Then use image to text, and then finally use text to speech. And today we actually have agents that I don't want to say they work reliably. They're kind of finicky. They don't always work, but when it works, it's actually pretty amazing. But with agentic loops, sometimes you can recover from earlier failures as well. So I find myself already using research agents for some of my work where I'll want a piece of research, but I don't feel like Googling myself and spend a long time. I should send to the research agent, come back in a few minutes and see what it's come up with. And it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, right? But that's already a part of my personal workflow. The final design pattern, multi-agent collaboration. This is one of those funny things, but it works much better than you might think. But on the left is a screenshot from a paper called Chat Dev, which is completely open, which is actually open source. Many of you saw the flashy social media announcements of demo of a Devin. Chat Dev is actually open source. It runs on my laptop, and what Chat Dev does is an example of a multi-agent system where you prompt one LLM to sometimes act like the CEO of a software engineering company, sometimes act like a designer, sometimes as a product manager, sometimes act like a tester. And this flock of agents that you build by prompting an LLM to tell them, you're now a CEO, you're now a software engineer. They collaborate, have an extended conversation so that if you tell it, please develop a game, develop a Go Monkey game, they'll actually spend a few minutes writing code, testing it, iterating, and then generate a surprisingly complex programs. Doesn't always work. I've used it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it's amazing. But this technology is really getting better. And just one of the design patterns, it turns out that multi-agent debate, where you have different agents, for example, it could be have ChatGPT and Gemini debate each other. Getting better is amazing. Always work. I've used it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it's amazing. But this technology is really getting better. And just one of the design patterns, it turns out that multi-agent debate, where you have different agents, but that's already it works much better. Shot from a paper called Chat Dev, which is completely open, which is actually open source. Many of you saw the flashy social media announcements of demo of a Devin. Chat Dev is actually open source. It runs on my laptop, and what Chat Dev does is an example of a multi-agent system where you prompt one LLM to sometimes act like the CEO of a software engineering company, sometimes act like a designer, sometimes as a product manager, sometimes act like a tester. And this flock of agents that you build by prompting an LLM to tell them, you're now a CEO, you're now a software engineer. They collaborate, have an extended conversation so that if you tell it, please develop a game, develop a Go Monkey game, they'll actually spend a few minutes writing code, testing it, iterating, and then generate a surprisingly complex programs. Doesn't always work. I've used it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it's amazing. But this technology is really getting better. And just one of the design patterns, it turns out that multi-agent debate, where you have different agents, for example, it could be have ChatGPT and Gemini debate each other. That actually results in a better performance as well. So having multiple simulated AI agents work together has a more powerful design pattern as well. So just to summarize, I think these are the patterns I've seen, and I think that if we were to use these patterns, in our work, a lot of us can get a productivity boost quite quickly. And I think that agentic reasoning design patterns are going to be important. This is my last slide. I expected the same pattern as well. So just to summarize, I think these are the patterns I've seen, and I think that if we were to use these patterns, in our work, a lot of us can get a productivity boost quite quickly. And I think that agentic reasoning design patterns are going to be important. This is my last slide.
I keep doing
I expected.
Trying to take a freaking screenshot. Come on now. Dang.
This year.
I don't want this.
Because of agentic workflows. And one thing that's actually difficult for people to get used to is when we prompt an LM, we want to respond right away. In fact, a decade ago, when I was having discussions at Google on we call it a big box search, we type in a long prompt. One of the reasons I failed to push successfully for that was because when you do a web search, you want a response back in half a second, right? That's just human nature. We like that instant feedback. But for a lot of the agent workflows, I think we'll need to learn to delegate a task in AI agent and patiently wait minutes, maybe even hours for a response. But just like I've seen a lot of novice managers delegate something to someone and then check in 5 minutes later, right? And that's not productive. I think we need to.
That's a good point.
We need to do that with some of our AI agents as well. I heard some laughs. And then one other important trend, fast token generation is important because with these agentic workflows, we're iterating over and over. So the LM is generating tokens for the LM to read. So being able to generate tokens way faster than any human to read is fantastic. And I think that generating more tokens really quickly from even a slightly lower quality LM might give good results compared to slower tokens from a better LM. Maybe it's a little bit controversial because it may let you go around this loop a lot more times. Kind of like the results I showed with GPT-3 and an agent architecture on the first slide. And candidly, I'm really looking forward to Claude 5 and Claude 4 and GPT-5 and Gemini 2.0 and all these other wonderful models that many people are building. And part of me feels like if you're looking forward to running your thing on GPT-5 zero shot, you may be able to get closer to that level of performance on some applications than you might think with agentic reasoning, but on an early model. I think
That's interesting.
I think this is an important trend, and honestly, the path to AGI feels like a journey rather than a destination. But I think this type of agent workflows could help us take a small step forward on this very long journey. Thank you.
Dang, go back real quick.
Hello. Welcome to Smart Talks with IBM.
Okay, thank you, IBM. Y'all real fancy. Why would it go back?
All of you
there it
know
is.
Andrew Ng as a famous computer science professor at Stanford, was really early on in the development of neural networks with GPUs. Of course, a creator of Coursera and popular courses like deeplearning.ai. Also the founder and creator and early lead of Google Brain.
I put that on the state of AI list.
Hello. Welcome to Smart Talks with IBM, a podcast from Pushkin Industries, iHeartRadio, and IBM. I'm Malcolm Gladwell. This season, we're continuing our conversation with new creators, visionaries who are creatively applying technology in business to drive change, but with a focus on the transformative power of artificial intelligence and what it means to leverage AI as a game-changing multiplier for your business. Our guest today is Dr. David Cox, VP of AI Models at IBM Research and IBM Director of the MIT IBM Watson AI Lab, a first-of-its-kind industry academic collaboration between IBM and MIT focused on the fundamental research.
Oh yeah, I might watch
A lot
that
of the
later.
sci-fi stuff is actually now becoming possible. What happens
wanna
when you
watch
have a
this
model
one.
that's able of simulating real-world physics?
Wouldn't it be cool if this podcast were actually an Infinity AI video?
One thing I noticed is like the lip syncing is like extremely accurate. Like it really looks like he's actually speaking Hindi.
How do YC companies build foundation models during the batch with just 500,000?
This is literally built by 21-year-old new college grads, and they built this thing in 2 months. I think he like locked himself in his apartment for a month and just read AI papers.
You can actually be on the cutting edge in relatively short order, and that's an incredible blessing.
I watched this before, but I didn't finish. Well, I finished it, but I think I was.
Welcome back to another episode
Multitasking.
of The Light Cone. Today we're talking about generative AI. First there was GPT-4, then there was Midjourney for image generation, and now we're making the leap into video. Harj, we got access to Sora, and we're about to take a look at some clips that they generated just for us.
Yeah, should we take a look? Okay, so here's the first one. The prompt is, it's the year 2050. A humanoid robot acting as a household helper walks someone's golden retriever down a pretty tree-lined suburban street. What do we think?
I like how it actually spells out helper. It's like a flex.
Yeah.
Like, I can spell now.
Yeah, which was not true with the image models.
You'd always screw up the text in
Yeah,
the image. Yeah, that's
Stable
true.
Diffusion DALL-E we're notoriously bad at spelling text, so that is a major advance that no one's really talked about yet.
I mean, it's wild how high definition it is. Like, that's almost realistic.
And the other really cool thing is the physics. The way the robot walks, for the most part, is
Yeah.
very accurate. You do notice a little kind of like shuffle. There's a little bit off, but for the most part, is believable.
And the way the golden retriever moves, I
Yeah, I
have
mean,
a
look at
golden
the
retriever,
tail.
so I can personally vouch that like they perfectly modeled the like.
Yeah, you have one, right?
Yeah.
So you would know.
Like your dog, right?
Yeah, this is perfect. Is a perfect representation of how a golden retriever walks. I also like that with DALL-E and Stable Diffusion, as you made your prompts longer and longer, it would just start ignoring it and not actually doing exactly what you told it to do. And like we gave it a very specific prompt here, and it did exactly the thing that we told it to.
You can see it's still not exactly perfect. So I think towards the end you see is like a floating dog, something in there.
Okay, I was gonna call out a couple other imperfections
go.
here, which is that like the street is not a street, guys. Like
It's a carless
it's
society.
yeah, and like what's up with that? It's like a weird. It's like not quite a sidewalk, not quite a street. Yeah,
And I
But in
think
the
if you
future, we
notice,
won't need cars anymore.
and then like
there's that
only one
the
side of the
structure's like
street.
jumping. There's this
Oh, yeah.
floating object thing.
There's a floating object on
Yeah.
the right if you watch carefully.
Which looks like a little dog
On
or
the
something.
right.
I'm not sure.
This is still a real breakthrough. If you look
incredible.
at some of the stuff that Meta put out, I mean, I always think about, what is it, Will Smith trying to eat a plate of spaghetti,
Yeah.
and that looks insane. And it's sort of just what you would do if you fed the previous frame into the same model to try to generate the next frame, and it just wasn't durable.
And that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah.
The other thing that I find really impressive about the Sora videos is that they have long-term visual consistency. There's like a minute long, and like all the houses are a similar architectural style. There's no like discontinuity. All the trees look similar. It's clearly all takes place in the same world.
Next one's a drone camera circles around the Golden Gate Bridge. The view showcases the magnificent cliffs and ocean waves with views of San Francisco in the background. The view is stunning, captured with beautiful photography.
That is the Golden Gate.
That is
Yeah,
the Golden
I mean,
Gate
it's
Bridge. Like
definitely
it
Golden-
knows what the Golden Gate Bridge looks like.
And I think you can see Alcatraz there a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Like the high definition is amazing.
And you can see the city in the background as we asked for.
It's definitely not geographically accurate, but
Yeah, like the terrain is not quite actually the way it is in the real world, but it looks visually kind of similar.
yeah.
And again, you can see it's not quite perfect because early on in the clip, if you look at sort of one of the columns of the bridge from a particular angle, it looks disjointed. Like, can you see that one?
Oh yeah,
The back.
yeah.
And then
doesn't
it sort of
quite
lines
line
up when we get to this angle.
Also, if you go back to the beginning of the clip and you look at the cars driving on the bridge, they're driving on the wrong side of the road. Like,
yeah.
like that one's about to cause a traffic accident.
Maybe there's some data from the UK maybe.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
I guess the other detail is in computer graphics is incredibly difficult to simulate fluid. and
Mm.
it's still a little bit wonky with it, with the waves. They're a little bit static.
Yeah,
But-
I've seen other Sora clips where it captures the motion of water just incredibly.
One thing I'm really curious about is just how Sora works under the hood and just how they're generating these videos. So, Danny, could you give us a brief, like a primer on just like what's actually going on? And one thing I was particularly curious about is like, is this like a new model, like or is this like an extension of the transformer model that we all know about as powering ChatGPT?
I think the TLDR and the really cool thing here, it is really a combination of a transformer model, which typically has been mostly used for text, and a diffusion model, which has been used which is a lot of the tech behind DALL-E Midjourney to generate images. So it's combining these two and then adding a temporal component so you can see the consistency between frames and the time. And I think the key thing that OpenAI did was to train this with videos and with what they call space-time patches. So it is like this, basically this 3x3 matrix of pixels. So you have the spatial, and then patches of temporal, which is like multiple frames create a video. And the way they do it, they have a variation of the sizes of these patches. They could be certain size, smaller to bigger in XYZ, basically, right? And then they basically train all this in this giant architecture, which is really expensive.
And so, are these sort of space-time patches the video equivalent of tokens?
Sort of, because I think there's a lot of prior work behind Sora, because the first thing is transformers have been mostly applied to text, and one of the prior work arts was Google's work on demonstrating that you could do transformer models not just for English text, but for images. So that was a foundational paper that came back in, I think they published it in 2020. And the paper was called Images Were 16 by 16. So they call it a visual transformer. So they demonstrated that you could create and use transformer models for image recognition tasks, because the state of the art up to then was convolutional neural networks, which was very expensive to compute. So that was one piece of the puzzle. The other piece of the puzzle was kind of the space-time concept. And I think some of that comes from stitching some different work on the past. There's this other paper, World Model, that came out in 2018 that separated, it's for robotics actually, that separates the detection piece. So that's kind of the perception of the visual part. And then the other piece is the memory model for the temporal aspect. And the temporal aspect in the World Model paper uses RNNs. And then there's a controller model that combines it. So they don't explain too much OpenAI. This is just a bit of just me looking at it. I don't know. This is one of these things that OpenAI is a bit cagey about it. But we can only speculate it's a combination of like robotics papers plus transformer plus text.
And then how much more expensive is it to generate one of these videos compared to generating the text? Like, how do we even think about that?
Oh man, so imagine the GPT-4 is like a trillion parameters, and that imagine is only 2 dimensions, right?
Yeah.
The text is just the matrix of 2 by 2. Now this is like an order of magnitude, so I can imagine it's like at least 1 order of magnitude, 10 trillion.
Okay, that's amazing.
So probably 10 times the amount of GPUs. I can only imagine. I think it was about 30,000. I forget exactly the number of GPUs that took for GPT-4.
Okay. Well, what's crazy is that we have companies within YC that have also been able to achieve similar types of functionality, and they clearly have way less resources than OpenAI does. So I'm curious how they managed to do that. And the way I kind of think about this is that there's the components of building one of these like foundational models, like data, compute, and expertise. Should we talk through some of the YC companies and how they've managed to like hack
And
each or all of those things?
Basically, how do YC companies build foundation models during the batch with just 500,000?
Yeah, I think it's an important topic because I think because people know how much money OpenAI is spending on GPUs, there's this meme going around that in order to do this, you need to like have raised like billions of dollars and have like a data center full of GPUs. And we've actually seen that it's not true. there's actually a bunch of companies in the current batch Winter 24 right now that just in the time of the batch, with just the 500K that YC gives them, have actually built really awesome foundational models that are producing like magical results.
Should we look at some of these demos and
Yeah.
see how talk about how they managed to get this to work?
Yeah.
Let's start with Infinity AI.
Infinity AI is a company in the current batch, and what they do is they make deep fake videos of a particular person. So for example, they have an AI replica of Elon Musk, and you can just tell Infinity AI what you want Elon Musk to say, and they will produce a video of Elon Musk saying exactly that thing.
You wanna watch a demo?
Yeah, let's see a
Yeah.
demo.
Let's watch the demo.
Speaking of IC companies training their own models, did you guys see the Infinity AI demo last week?
Yeah, they're a company in my group. Infinity allows people to make videos by just typing out a script.
Wouldn't it be cool if this podcast were actually an Infinity AI video?
That'd be super cool. You think they'd be up for that?
Well, guys, I have a surprise for you.
Here we are.
That's pretty good.
So special thanks to the Infinity AI team who made a model of the Litecoin podcast. And the way that they did this is they literally just downloaded our YouTube videos from the first 3 episodes and they trained their model on that. And the cool thing about these models now is like you don't need that much data once you've trained the foundation model to adapt it to learn a new person. So just the like hour or so of YouTube video that we had was enough for them to get a really accurate representation.
I could talk about another company. So I'll explain what SyncLab is. SyncLab is an API for creating real-time lip syncing. And the crazy thing about this team is that they trained the models on a single A100. And it's generating these kinds of results. So let's take a look at it.
वाणिज्यिक समझौते या लेन देन के कला पर है, चाहे आपको पसंद हो या ना हो, आप एक विक्रेता हैं। आप अन्य लोगों को अपने विचारों, आपकी सेवाओं, आपके उत्पाद, आपके करियर पथ, आप में किसी प्रकार का निवेश करने के लिए मनाने जा रहे होंगे।
I'm guessing this guy doesn't actually speak Hindi?
No.
Okay. One thing I noticed is like the lip syncing is like extremely accurate. Like it really looks like he's actually speaking Hindi.
Yeah, and if we put it in this framework that you were mentioning, Harsh, with how YC companies do this, there's different vectors. It's computation, data set, and speed. So they kind of hacked all of those. So for the data set, the clever thing they've done is unheard of training a video audio model with so little resources, is they compress a lot of the data and use low-res video. So you don't need the high-res video, because if you have a high-res of 1080p versus, let's say, the 241 version, that's like a quadratic factor less, because it's 2 dimensions, right? So they've done that. The other thing that enabled
I think I'm about to go to bed. I feel so weird. It's like, well, I guess it's going on 7, but it's so light outside, and I feel like it's 11 o'clock at night. Mm-mm. Did I finish my Wordle today? I don't think so. All right, I did it. Let's see. I really be trying to do my Wordles every day. Like, I don't know why I like this game so much. Alright. But yeah, I feel like if I stay on here for too much longer, I'm just gonna be passing my yawns along because ooh, I'm ready for it. Honestly, I'm like, I was deciding what did I want to do, what did I want to watch this evening, because I want to, oh dang it, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, that's definitely a match. What are you even talking about? That was a match. That's irritating. That's a match. But yeah, I was trying to figure out what I'm gonna watch this evening. I found this channel. I found this random channel that makes videos called Everything Wrong with Cinema Sins. And the whole channel is, well, it's not the whole channel, but that's just a series actually on the channel where they like correct some of the issues that Cinema Sins makes in their videos. And I was just binge watching that because they had like Everything Wrong with Cinema Sins, Harry Potter, MCU. I watched a couple other ones too. Just be finding random stuff to binge watch. Or either I was watching, they had like a Star Wars one too, so then it had me it had me wanting to watch either Star Wars or the old Marvel movies, the Avengers, and like that whole thing. Can I sign in? Am I signed in? I am signed in. What should I watch? I gotta go fill this up. All right, baby. Here I come. Come on. Am I looking for anime? Maybe. I got some suggestions I still need to watch, honestly. I haven't watched these. My friend was trying to get me to watch Solo Leveling. I wasn't really, maybe I wasn't giving it a chance. I'm not done with Attack on Titan. Few of the new season ones, like, I don't know. We'll see. Like, Solo Leveling, it was just kind of like, it was fighting bugs. Like, I know. That was that one, right? I know I seen them fighting bugs. I don't wanna watch nothing with giant bugs in it. Like, I get the purpose of it, but like, yeah. I've been finding like a lot of like some that's a little bit more comedic. I don't know if you would really call them like slice of life, because a lot of them are really like sarcastic, or it's like satire. This one of my favorite ones right here, Air Master. That's only one season though. Oh, I already watched Air Master. I found that one a while ago. It's already favorited. I was watching Air Master and like Baki and stuff, probably around like Baki. What else? Like I do like those like Street Fighter type shows, cause I like Attack on Titan and stuff like that. So I feel like it falls in that category. Why they look like they look like a Japanese version of Rocket Power. Addictive popsicles. I'm gonna add this to my list. A programmer that hacks into anything. What's it called? Windbreaker. I kind of just want to watch it just because it's about a programmer. I at least got to give it a shot. Is it on here? Programmer. Battle programmer. It might not be on here. Sometimes lately I just like kind of check this popular tab. Yeah, she tried to get me to watch this. I was just like, after Hunter x Hunter made me watch, they made me like watch giant bugs take over. I think I don't I'm good. Like I don't need to see another like bug fighting anime ever. How far behind am I? 3 seasons. Did I even watch the whole first season? Is it really? Okay. This is season 1, right? Okay, I watched. It looks like I watched the first season. That looks pretty solid. Even though some of these are skipped, I wouldn't have skipped episodes. I probably, yeah. See, I just like didn't watch all the way through the ending credits. So I did watch the first season. I haven't watched any of this. Where's my watch list? I've been watching Dragon Ball Z. I watched Dragon Ball, like, that was really at the beginning of last year. At this point, I watched all of that, and then I started watching Dragon Ball Z. But I keep going back on Dragon Ball Z. This show is so funny. I like that show. I haven't watched this Hajime no Ippo. There's some stuff on here I haven't watched that was like either it looked interesting to me or somebody recommended it. 2 seasons and the movie. Is that what that was for? That must have been the movie. Yeah, that's the movie. Okay. Yes, I'm completely behind on that. Mark as a favorite. I keep debating on like watching One Piece, and then I'm like, yeah, no. Like, why? Just why? Then I heard something about One Piece was going on a Then they said One Piece was going on a break. This is so many episodes. Like, why? Should have started it when I was a baby. What else is on here? Like, I feel like if I start watching One Piece, I'm going to be watching it until my senior years, my elderly years, and I still won't be done. I could always stand to catch up on JoJo. Dr. Stone is probably on what? The 3rd season, 4th season? Three. See, this is something I could realistically catch up on. Am I really not done with the 1st season? I know I did the 1st season. Cause I'm really about to like make some dinner and just turn in and chill. Let me see. I could possibly go for Psychopaths. Oh yeah, I didn't even finish this. Man, I gotta say, I feel like Chainsaw Man had one of the like more epic character reveals in recent years. Maybe that's because I don't really watch nothing, but they definitely did bloody, gory anime right. Yeah, I got almost to the end of the first season. Yeah, I just missed the last two. But it's been so long, I probably just rewatched the whole season. That'd be my problem. My problem is I will restart a show so many times. Or I will restart a season so that's why it took years to even ever finish Death Note. Like Death Note is like my favorite anime and I had never finished it. For a while I hadn't finished it. Cause I will always restart. So I'll get like really close to the end. Then it'll be so long since I've seen it. Let me see. I feel like I might be missing episodes. You know what I was catching up on? Oh, I'm good on here. You know what I actually was catching up on? I was watching this. What I might get. I might watch Boruto. I might. Where is it? It's not on my list. Thing about Boruto is it didn't start. It wasn't my favorite at the start, but once enough episodes got in, I got to watching it last year, and once the story picked up, I was like, okay, because in the beginning it was just a little bit too, like, Boruto was just really getting on my nerves. But also I did not like Naruto. Like, as a kid, I did not like Naruto. I did not watch Naruto. I just skipped straight to Shippuden because he used to get on my nerves. But as you can see, after a while, I did start putting in some time on Boruto, and it was actually at a pretty good point. And like, I was starting to get into the story. haven't really seen anything interesting in Boruto yet. 293. Yeah, see, I gotta catch up on this before I get too far behind. Now this I'm not about to go back and watch, but I might go back a few episodes. But I think I remember the gist of where I was in the story. That's the only thing about anime. It's like it's so you have so many options. I got stuff in every category. I got like, hey, let's just watch this real quick. I got like 150 episodes on this one. Attack on Titan, I only have to watch the very end. But this is so good that like I enjoyed the ending, so I might at least rewatch the first special or like watch the last few, something like that. I need to know how it ends before I get spoiled. I've been debating on watching like Case Closed or what's the other one? Would I ever watch Dragon Ball GT? It just disturbs me. I don't understand what I'm looking at and it bothers me. Is this, I don't even want to ask the question. Like, why is there a Super Saiyan dragon? Can somebody explain that one to me? Wait, was that one on my list? Here. Case closed. Watch list. I watched I've been watching movies the last couple, like this week. I don't watch a lot of movies, but I watched The Godfather 1 and 2. That's one of my favorite movies, so that's just, I saw it was available, so I watched it. And then I've been watching Hackers and what's the other movie? The Matrix. I've been watching those lately. Like every now and then, I'm just like, oh, I want to watch a movie. I'll just pick one of those because I know what to expect. Tech forward movies. What makes a movie tech forward? Like science fiction? Hackers. Yeah, I like programming related movies, shows. I haven't been watching horror movies lately, and I wonder if that's gonna last. Cause I always watch like gory horror movies. Like I don't watch no, or I watch like supernatural. Like there is an anime that considers magic to be code. Supernatural thriller. Ooh. Why they always trying to do live action anime? Has there ever been a good live action anime? How's Assassination Classroom? watch I'm gonna start catching up on Boruto again. I still haven't like made my full I don't have a full like decision on how I feel about the show yet. I didn't like it at first. It was starting to grow on me after like 90 episodes. But it's still like 100, almost another 100 or 200 that I haven't seen. And then I was looking at this paper. So that one talk that Andrew Ng was doing, which was basically talking about different approaches to agentic, what do you call it? Agentic where is it? Yeah, AI agentic workflows. That was a good talk. And then I basically just pulled up all the papers that he referenced. I was looking at this one earlier, the self-refine. So this one's pretty interesting. It's not too long of a read. It's like 9 pages. Oh, wait, excuse me. Yeah, all these are pretty much like 9 pages. They're literally all 9 pages. This one is way shorter. Yeah, so all of these are like something I can read through. There's some more. I haven't opened these. These were like the first 4 were the ones that he called like robust methods versus the other 4. These 4 here are like the emerging methods. So I'm probably gonna spend some time on that this weekend. But at this point, I'm about to like just turn in. I'm gonna make dinner first. I'm gonna make dinner, make sure Justice is good to go, and then I'm just gonna get cozy. I'll probably go to sleep on like the first episode or whatever I turn on. But it's good. I can like sleep in today. I don't have to get up super early tomorrow, nothing like that. I don't got no meetings tomorrow. Like, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I was supposed to speak at an event this weekend, but I end up not doing that. So this is gonna be like, let me see. I feel like last weekend I was busy trying to get stuff for Justice together. So yeah, this weekend it's just gonna be laid back, chill. I still got stuff to do, but I need some downtime. All right, we'll see if I get enough energy to play some games this weekend. I haven't been back to my supermarket, so that's like top of my list. And I do still want to finish Hogwarts Legacy because I made good progress on that. So I'm going to debate on it, and I'll see. Otherwise, I will be back tomorrow. I'm ready for bed. I hope y'all have a good night too, actually. Don't stay up too late. I know some of y'all don't know how to go to bed. It's okay though. I once was like you. Now, I got a bedtime. All right, good night, y'all.